match for a good blast here at your side.
Welcome to Hokey Religion, the Star Wars podcast. This episode, we're going to talk about the Solo trailer, Batuu, and more. This is Tyler. Michael's making tea.
I'm back. It's
All right,
me.
Welcome to episode 64.
Hello.
I think Michael has already given up on the episode. Great.
I forgot what we were doing.
Thanks for joining us, Michael.
Welcome back. You have been to faraway lands.
Sure.
You.
What is this?
You?
Me? Oh.
You went places. For things.
I'm going places. That's not true.
I'm not.
That's not true at all. Sure, I went on a trip and now I'm back and it had nothing to do with the show.
Nope, nothing to do with it. So let's talk about it. That's what we do here. We talk about things that don't matter.
No.
I should have done this before we started.
Making lots of noise?
Huh?
Unnecessarily?
Well, yeah, that, but also
Just
put my laptop
shaking
up
around?
here.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, all right, this is the real show. Hey, everyone, welcome to the real show.
So, hopefully you all enjoyed the Super Bowl, because I know we didn't care.
Yes. Which
and-
ball did you vote for?
The left one.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
That's a good joke. See, the funny part about the joke is that I was referring to testicles. And I said left. See, so that made it funny.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, good. It's always better when you explain it.
Let's go back. Do it again.
All right.
Tyler, which ball did you vote for?
The left one.
Testicles.
Yep. End of joke.
Yay, end of joke. Over. Yay.
So obviously we don't record these while you are hearing it on your device. So the Super Bowl happened and supposedly a trailer for
our podcast is a phone call.
All podcasts are phone calls.
Phone call.
Where you hit play, we rush to find each other. So when it's buffering, we're just like rushing to find each other to start talking into your phone.
Hey, welcome to Hokey Religion.
But yeah, Super Bowl happened and supposedly, hopefully there was a Solo trailer of some sort.
We can say definitely there
Might have been
was.
one.
There were.
We hope there was one and that it got people excited for the movie that no one is excited for.
Yep, I'm not looking forward to this.
So having recorded this prior to that, so as of right now, there's supposed to be a shortened trailer / teaser during the Super Bowl, and then a longer full trailer after the Super Bowl, like I think on Monday or Tuesday, something like that.
You think the smart thing would be to just wait until it happens and then record? But
have a late episode? Got to stay on time for the 5 people that expect it to be on time.
Got to stay on time and make it boring and
I mean, we talked about it.
Predictable.
We were talking about it. It's like, should we? And we're like, do either of us care that much about the Han Solo trailer? And we're like, no, okay,
No,
never
we
mind.
We don't.
So apparently Good Morning America is going to have supposedly going to have a longer trailer after the fact, I guess on Monday morning. So by the time you're listening to this,
When's the Super Bowl?
Sunday,
Oh, I thought it was Monday for some reason.
I think.
Has it ever happened on a Monday?
I think it's always Sunday night,
Oh,
but I also don't care about the Super
Monday
Bowl,
Night
so-
Football. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, that's when the other stuff is aired. The
That sounds
tickets went on
familiar. Have we
sale.
talked about Monday Night Football on this podcast before?
tickets for Last Jedi went on sale during Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah.
And that's remember when everything got so messed up and nothing worked for 6 hours. And
Yeah,
then we
that's
got
right.
the seats at the wrong theater because the other theater wouldn't sell them on Fandango and everything was jacked up.
No, that was Force Awakens, wasn't it?
No, it was this time.
No, this time was pretty
AMC
smooth.
wouldn't sell their own tickets would only sell their tickets on the AMC website, not Fandango.
Oh, it was.
That's the trouble we ran.
Was
into.
it Force Awakens trailer that happened Monday Night Football?
I think so. There's some weird
could have sworn
football thing that's happening.
I could have sworn the trailer happened then, or the tickets happened then too.
Unfortunately, in America, most of the people watch football, so they put the trailers and the tickets
In the
and all the
football.
things during the football.
In the football.
They put it it's in the football.
It's in the
literal
football.
football. Someone has to
The
rip,
tickets are in the football.
rip open the football. There's a thumb drive. They have to plug that into the live feed to play the trailer.
The live feed
Yeah.
to Americans.
Yeah. So
Okay.
The U.S.
Yes, the U.S. feed.
So
So I've made it
hopefully-
clear that I don't know
anything about football. Yeah. So
Football happens, and I don't know about it.
if that trailer happened, which it should have, let us know what you thought about it. because I'm sure we will let you know what we thought about it.
This is the wrong thing to be doing on the show.
No, I honestly want to hear from people if they are legitimately excited about the Han Solo movie, because I had no point have been.
Me neither.
I mean, from the beginning, if you've listened to the show since we found out there was a Solo
Well,
movie, I've not
we could
been
say-
excited about it.
We could say, well, I was excited about Phil and Chris when it was first announced,
Eh.
and then it just got shittier and shittier from there.
I don't care. Even with them, I don't.
You don't care about what?
It's not a movie I need. It never was.
Oh,
I just don't. I'll obviously see it. It's, if it exists, I'll watch it. But I didn't need it, and so I've just at no point have I cared.
Would you watch this movie? Well, we've already said probably not opening night, right? We kind of both.
I'm not
agreed
gonna
that.
rush out to see it. I'll see it opening weekend.
Weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for this show, would you wait longer to see it?
No.
Because I think I would say yeah. I would. There'd be no urgency for me to
Really?
see it. Like
I
I would see it, but not opening weekend.
I would still see it because if there is anything that could possibly be spoilery, I wouldn't want to be spoiled in seeing it.
What could be spoiled?
Exactly.
Though?
Exactly.
I mean, that's the
That's what
thing
I
about
don't-
this movie is we
Right.
know it all already. That's the
Exactly.
point you were just making.
But no, I'm not going to be like waiting until 1 a.m. clicking refresh like I was for The Last Jedi, trying to
Right.
get tickets as soon as possible at the closest theater.
Yeah, right.
I'm not gonna. I will go when possible.
Like with Rogue One, at least there was some suspense because you didn't know what was going to happen to them. I mean, we kind of guessed that they would have to die at the end, which they did.
Yeah.
The team, but this, I mean, there's nothing.
Right.
His mentor is probably going to die, Woody Harrelson, right?
And who cares?
Right, exactly.
And who cares?
Who cares? Lando's going to be around. He's going to meet Lando.
I mean,
He's going to have the Kessel Run.
The thing I do care about, which is why I also don't care about the movie, is we are going to find out how he and Chewbacca came to be a team. I didn't want to say how they came to be together because that sounded weird. How they came to be a team, like what their situation is. That we're going to what we are going to be told is now going to be canon for Star Wars going forward.
Okay.
And it very possibly will
about
not
it?
be the Chewbacca and Han Solo coming together story and most likely will not be the story we had previously.
Well, what was previously that he broke him out of?
So Han being
Out of
an
a
Imperial
labor camp?
yeah, and breaking him out of labor camp and him owing him a life debt. And I mean, obviously, it is canon that he owes him a life debt.
Yeah, right.
So he's going to have to do something along those lines to get a life debt out of it.
Okay, but
Right.
I don't see how that couldn't be the story because they've already established that Chewie was on Kashyyyk during the battle or during the end of the Clone Wars battle, right?
Yes.
He was fighting there and Yoda was there, and that's when Order 66, all that mess.
So they were captured most likely there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Empire kind of took over that planet.
I don't know. I have no reason to distrust them because it's still Lucasfilm. It's still the same story group, and obviously they care so much about this film that they fired directors over it and brought in the big guns and have put time to try to right wrongs here.
Yeah, but that's just money.
I'm like, for some reason I have this irrational fear of what if they do it shittily, and so now I have this shitty canon of how Han Solo and Chewbacca are buddies and why he has a life debt.
That's what I think it's going to be. I think it's.
This
is the most transparently.
I don't want that.
This is the most transparently a money grab to me. This movie so far, out of everything they've done up to now, other than the prequels.
Maybe,
but I'm saying the new story group setup, all that stuff. This movie seems the most like, oh, we got to put something out there to get everybody's money.
It's definitely the easiest. I think
that's what it feels like.
It's
yeah,
definitely the easiest, but at the same time, I think they went into it thinking it would be so easy, and then they're like, "Oh crap, we're totally screwing this up, and this affects this character that everyone loves."
Yeah, maybe it's part of that.
I don't know.
But look when it's coming out, right after one of the giant movie that made them a ton of money
with no fanfare. They're holding on to. I mean, obviously they need to let Last Jedi breathe, but it's gonna.
It's their
trailer in February. Movie comes out in May.
What, you think they're just trying to get rid of it? Just sweep it under the rug?
It feels that way, but because of how close it is to The Last Jedi, it's likely not that way. It just feels very much like, let's just, trailer comes out now. Oh, the movie's out tomorrow. You'll forget about all of this soon.
Soon
was
it will all be
so
over.
compacted. We didn't string you out like, The Last Jedi or Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It's just all packed into these 3 months that you'll forget about come August.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, so to me, obviously I don't know. It's to me it's weird because it shouldn't be different than them rewriting the canon, my canon I had from childhood of after Return of the Jedi.
When was that rewritten?
Force
Now?
Awakens. I
Oh.
mean, so everything that happened after Return
Okay,
of the Jedi, as
but-
in my childhood with Jaina and
Yeah.
Anakin, Anakin Solo and Jason and Leia and Han and all of
Were
that.
you honestly disappointed about losing that? Maybe, okay, I'll say I wasn't disappointed about that specifically because they did keep Han and Leia were married
Right.
and they did separate, but I mean that sort of made sense.
Yeah, and
that
that's what I'm
decision.
saying is like for
But-
some reason I was fine with that happening.
Well,
That
that's what I was
changing
gonna
everything I
ask.
knew about what happened after the fact.
That's what I was going to ask. I mean, because we've said before that
I was excited about, we get a new history to it.
yeah. I mean,
But I
we've said-
don't feel that same way going the opposite direction. So we get this new, again, Star Wars long time ago, so it's all history anyways.
Well, it's like you're messing with the foundation instead of messing with
I guess that's
the
what
shutters.
that's what I was getting to. I guess that's what it is like, oh cool, we get this new future for them. Whereas
Yeah.
now it's like, no, that's why Han is who Han is. Don't make a new story for that. Don't touch that because that's why Han is who Han is.
But what's
as
funny,
far as I'm concerned.
But what's funny is all the stuff after Return of the Jedi, the old legend stuff, that's kind of the same as all of the EU stuff we had about Han during the original trilogy. Because we didn't have any of that story other than
But now we have that
the same
story.
kind of books that happened after the
Right.
Return of the Jedi. But why is that considered more solid, more concrete than the other
Again,
EU
I said
stuff?
it's irrational. It makes no sense why it upsets me. Like, I don't want to have a different history for Han because that is why Han is Han.
Yeah.
His future, cool, we get a different future with, his future wasn't that bright.
I guess I really
But-
only cared about the stuff after Return of the Jedi.
I don't know. Just like, because I
only cared about
like
I didn't care as much.
99% sure he's not going to be an Imperial. He's not going to be involved with the Imperials, right? He's
Really, you don't think so?
I don't think any of that story or plot is gonna stick, right?
Was that in Rebels at some point?
What?
Did he show up in Rebels? Did Han ever show up in Rebels?
Chewbacca did. I don't think Han ever did.
Okay. I'm just trying to think. That hasn't been established in new canon that he was
Not that I'm aware of.
an
I mean,
officer, right?
Yeah, so
Until well, yeah, so is it going to be
and
established?
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to, because how many people actually even knew that canon from the EU?
I didn't know it until recently.
And that's what I mean, people at large are definitely not going to know that. Just like people at large would not have known that Leia and Han had twins and then had another child.
No,
named
I feel like
Anakin.
that was pretty that was more
to the
of a
general
fact
for the
than-
general public though.
I don't
The
know.
people that are watching the Super Bowl.
I'm thinking of the people who, I don't know, read a Star Wars comic back in the day or
Yeah, maybe.
knew about Star Wars books back in the day
Okay.
before the prequels, like people like that they're not necessarily people who are like, yeah, I saw a Star Wars movie. It's like in between that and the
Yes.
really intense
I'm just saying, I
fans.
don't think they have
Those people
they
are
don't have
gonna
a
know.
reason to stick with that storyline. I mean, they definitely don't have a reason to because they can do whatever they want now. They don't have a reason to stick with that storyline, and I just
No,
for some reason I
they
don't
don't.
feel like they are going to. I don't know why, because obviously we have seen nothing about the movie.
Yeah.
All we've seen is a picture of Han Solo in his smuggler-looking outfit, basically.
I'll tell you why. I think I agree with you because, okay, when I saw the redesigned Falcon, which apparently is the real thing,
Yes, yeah.
because it was in that leaked image, and then there was the Lego set that was the same
Yeah,
way.
and if you haven't seen it, it's the Falcon where the front, instead of having the two tines or however you want to call it,
yeah.
it's like filled in basically.
Yeah, it's
The whole
all
front of the Falcon is
one
filled in.
piece, like a triangle
Which
thing.
there's
at the front
supposedly a
of,
reason for that.
well, sure, yeah, you could put whatever canon reason for that, but I'm saying they didn't have to do that. Why did they have to
Well,
redesign the
so
Falcon?
have you? I don't know.
I know-
I cannot recall where I saw it, but supposedly the rumor. I guess the rumor is all it can be at this point. Is the rumor of that build for the Falcon is specifically for the Kessel Run, for space aerodynamics.
See, that's my point.
Which it's space. There's no friction. You don't need aerodynamics.
That's my point.
It helps it use the gravity to go or hit the
And
whatever.
what's the reason supposedly now for doing that is that Han made modifications to the Falcon,
Right.
and or
The reason it's not there.
like when he
or-
says I made a
I made a lot of these modifications myself.
special modifications myself, something
Yeah.
like that was his quote.
But
But why does that have to be the look, the iconic look of the Falcon? Why do they have to mess with that? You know, that could mean little, like tweaking the engines and adding guns and things
I mean,
like
maybe
that.
it looks like that at the beginning, but then he adds all this other stuff to make it do the Kessel Run.
There's
And
going to be
there's like
some
a montage, like Fast and the Furious or something, where they're beefing up their cars and he's slapping on plates.
I
stuff in
know
the front.
why it doesn't need that. It's good. I'm telling you, there's going to be a stupid scene where he's doing some crazy flying and then he hits something and it dents right in between the two things. He's
Knocks it off.
like, I kind of like that. You know, something really stupid like that.
Like someone else saying, where there's going to be a scene where at some point he's going to be like, "Next time I'm going to shoot first."
Yeah, it's
Just like that.
just
Like,
jamming that kind of stuff.
why
in
is
there.
it that almost everything I hear people talking about this movie is we assume there's going to be horrible, stupid jokes,
Yeah.
and it's all a joke. Just the entire film's a joke.
Okay, so
Which I don't think anyone making the movie is treating it that way. But for some reason, that's how
I hope
almost
not.
everyone is thinking about that thinking about this movie.
do you think it's because people thought that about Last Jedi? That it was just full of stupid jokes that didn't need to be there?
Well, they still think that, like,
Yeah.
after seeing it.
Yeah,
Maybe just now everyone's cynical.
maybe.
Um,
I think it's different. I think The Last Jedi was genuinely funny,
yes,
and it I don't know, it didn't need to have jokes,
right.
but I don't know. It kind of for some reason it makes sense there, but when I think about them trying to jam all this stuff into this solo movie, it
But
just
at the same time,
sounds
like,
crappy.
as jaded as I am on this movie already that hasn't even come out, I could end up loving this movie because I hate it so much going in that I see it and I'm like, they did a good job, and I
don't
end up
know.
liking it.
I don't know.
Like it has more potential for that to happen because I have my bar for the expectations is set so low that I cannot get it
I-
can either meet that bar or be above
No.
it.
I don't see how.
Like my expectations aren't in the middle where it could be worse than my expectations at this point. So it could either be my expectations, it can't be worse than that, or it could be better and I could like it more. That's how low I am on the spectrum of liking this movie before it's even happened. And
I'm gonna go into it the same way, but I don't think I'm gonna be blown away.
it's got Woody Harrelson in it.
I know.
I shouldn't. He's fine in his movies. Not my movies.
It is movies about
You
magic.
got your Harrelson in my Star Wars. I don't.
His magic movies wearing a fedora. He's gonna be wearing a fedora in this, right? He has to
Yeah.
be.
But like the Indiana Jones one, just to be even more like ah.
What's the
Like
okay?
it's
So
like,
that's
like
a-
we're assuming the whole movie's gonna be just this one giant joke of everyone like pointing at the camera and doing finger guns and
I know
winking.
that's exactly what it seems like it's gonna be.
Just everything's a very like fourth wall breaking joke to the audience.
Direct to the camera,
Yeah.
like I get it.
It's like Airplane but Star Wars for some reason.
But it's even worse because it's like bad jokes,
Yeah.
and then you're looking at the audience for validation.
You like that? We did the joke.
This is why you came. We're doing this for you.
I feel so bad shitting on this movie that hasn't happened, but that we have no expectations for.
I don't.
That Ron Howard has like put all of this time and effort into, and Ron Howard is like a god of film. the amount of stuff that he has produced and directed that is just, miles above most things that get output. And he's like seriously put time and passion into coming into this project and making it very aware to everyone else that he is definitely working on this movie.
It seems like it.
Like so heavy-handedly, like I'm editing now. Right? It's still happening.
Me, Ron Howard.
Right.
I'm doing Ron Howard editing.
It's almost like Disney kidnapped Ron Howard and they're tweeting for him now. That's how heavy-handed it feels. But at the same time, like he seems legitimately excited to be doing what he's doing.
It seems like it.
So we're shitting all over this movie that Ron Howard, one of the top tier filmmakers is excited about. That may very well be an awesome movie, but we cannot fathom how it could be good at this point.
I don't feel bad about that. No.
Ugh.
No.
I would have an easier time with that with Chris and Phil because I've already stated how I don't really care for their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Ron Howard. This guy did Apollo 13. Like this guy makes movies. Chris and Phil.
This guy makes movies.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, this guy makes movies.
I don't know. I feel bad and I want it to make me feel bad for everything I've said. I want to feel bad about...
Make me feel bad.
I want it to make me feel.
Oh, make me feel bad, Solo.
That's another one of the scenes. That's when he meets
Put
Lando.
me in my... Put you...
What?
Put you in my ears. Put you in my ears and make me feel bad.
Great. Yeah.
Tyler, guess what?
What?
We got some What That Tweets.
Oh no.
What is that tweet? What is it? What is it?
Why does it go on?
It's gotten worse.
It's gotten worse, and I feel like it's gotten longer.
Yep, that's part of it. Worse and longer.
Now that your head has been oozed into with that, we have some tweets.
What That Tweet from Pablo. It's actually 2 tweets. Should I play the song again?
Nope.
Oh.
Just the once is good enough forever.
Okay. So we got somebody tweeting at Pablo asking, first tweet is, does Kylo Ren know that his mother survived the attack on the Radis? If not, did he feel her presence when he attacked the base on Crate? And then blah, 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 other stuff. Pablo's answer is, I'll leave it to other sources to answer that. And then another tweet. Let's pull this up over here. Does this still count if it's not us tweeting at Pablo?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Another question. Is it implied or known if they were headed to Crate all along? Meaning the Resistance, after they launched off Dakar.
Right.
And if so, why not come out of hyperspace right there at Crate? Or is it more of a Hoth Bespin, don't ask questions sort of thing?
It just happens to be in the area.
Pablo's response, again, I'll leave it to other sources to answer how emergence within hours of Crate fit into plans or not.
Right.
So 2 tweets saying, I'll leave it to other sources. That...
Which, knowing what we do now about the novel, which we still need to talk about.
Yeah, that's coming up. That's why I did this first.
Right.
And the song.
So
I really
stay
like the
tuned
song.
for discussion about the novel. Because
stay tuned in 30 seconds.
I think that source is coming.
Yeah, that's my point. I think this makes it sound like Pablo knows something's being written or is on the docket,
right,
to be written that are going to answer these kinds of questions for us, which is kind of exciting. That we're going to get answers to stuff that we've been asking about. All the retcons are coming. Don't fear.
Right.
So
other tweets, or you want to talk about the novel?
Nope. That's it for What That Tweet.
What is that tweet? What is it? What is it?
Oh, my ears are bleeding.
What is it?
I don't know. I can't. My brain stopped.
There was a version of that song where I said, put it in my ears. What is that tweet?
God.
Put it in my eyes. What is the tweet? So that'll come eventually.
So it'll only get worse.
Yes. It only gets worse from here.
So the
64
novel.
episodes in, it's only gotten worse.
Well, that's life. So the novel, like we were talking about, if you haven't heard, the novelization of The Last Jedi is actually really called the Last Jedi Expanded Edition. All versions of the novel are the Expanded Edition. There's no like regular Last Jedi novelization and Expanded Edition novelization. It's not Lord of the Rings, just one, all expanded. Because it contains more information than the film had.
More information.
Right. So
There are things.
Jason Fry, right? That's the author.
Yes.
He and I think even Ryan was talking about working with Jason to kind of get things into the book that were cut from the film.
Yeah.
Because there was so much information. Because what was it? The original cut of The Last Jedi was like 4 hours, right?
It was 3.
Was it 3?
Something. I don't know if about 4.
So things they have confirmed is that Han's funeral scene will be in the novel. More of Rose and Paige being together because somebody wants that. And then more stuff.
What's your problem with that?
More things happening at Canto Bight.
Well, that I could understand.
Sure.
Why? I mean, it's a book. Why would you need more?
Sure. Yeah. So more. I guess I'm wondering how, with the obviously Han's funeral scene is fantastic. I'm glad that's making it into the novel because it didn't happen in the movie. And obviously, there was a lot of discussion before the movie came out about the rumors of Han's funeral being in the movie. So it sounds like at some point it was planned, or at least thought about enough to need to add it into the book, which is great.
At least story-wise, yeah.
Right.
I mean, originally we thought that the Canto Bight stuff was going to be Han's funeral, right? Because of everyone being all dressed up.
Yeah, that's what it was thought to be. Everyone was just wearing
like it was
going to
be on Corellia,
yeah,
or something. Yeah, right.
So that's really great. The Rose and Paige stuff. I mean, Paige dies in like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. That first scene.
When do they get more time together? Because they're not at all together at that point.
Well, this is, maybe it's a flashback, or this is before that happens.
I guess flashbacks would make sense.
Or maybe it's before she gets sent off for that mission, or as they're like dispatching the bombers.
Could be
for that mission.
Because we already have the other like junior novels with the bomber squadron that Paige is a part of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's one about her squadron.
Okay.
And then there's stuff on Canto Bight, which maybe there's more of the underbelly of Canto Bight that was really only talked about, but never really gone into. You know, with Rose talking about how they're all like most of these people here are weapons dealers or slavers, or things like that. So maybe there'll be more of that underbelly.
Maybe more with DJ stuff.
There better be more about DJ than we got in the film.
Really?
I would hope.
What do you think about him showing up in jail because he heard about these guys landing? Do you think that's possible? Or is that stretching?
If it was planned from the start for him to betray them?
No. Well, I mean, that he heard about them landing on world.
Yeah.
And then kind of situated himself to be in jail. To be able to talk to them. Does that make sense?
I could see him doing that, but I could also see him doing it for the purpose of backstabbing them to get on the Empire's side the First Order side to get money.
That seemed more just happenstance to me. That he just ended up.
Was it happenstance, or is he that smart that he planned that backstabbing?
He doesn't seem like a plan ahead kind of guy. Maybe that's not something he would have done. I don't know. I'm trying to think of ways to make that make sense. That he was there. He just happened to be there.
DJ very much feels like a Deus Ex Machina thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could see him being like the drunken master.
DJ Ex Machina. Hey!
Oh no.
I need an air horn.
One day. But I could see him being like the drunken master, where he's like this idiot sounding drunk guy with a stutter, but really it's all just the game.
Yeah.
It's all everything he's not just this drunk asshole. He's like this, he's got this whole thing figured out. All right, I'm going to play them to get a big payday from the Empire and get out of Dodge. I don't know.
Maybe. That
would make that character have more depth to me.
What was his last line? When Finn said something to him, and then DJ said, maybe. What was Finn saying? Do you remember? Do you remember
Um,
that part? Mr. Person who's only seen the movie one time.
Right.
I can't remember now. Never
I
mind.
cannot recall. No.
But it's something along the lines of
like we
um,
very well we very
very
well
me-
may have that character come back again.
yeah, or should show up again. Like he was
Right.
basically saying something along the lines of, yeah, well, maybe this isn't the last time
Right.
you're gonna see me, or something like that. Or this isn't or maybe this is like
Yeah, I cannot recall if he said
Shoot.
like something like that, or if Finn said something about him planning this from the beginning.
no, he didn't say anything
No?
about that. No.
I can't recall. It's been too long since I saw it. But yeah, some stuff on Canto Bite, that would be cool to have more depth of DJ because of, and I'm sure they had to cut that part. Like if they had to cut stuff from story out of the film, it was probably more from Canto Bite because of how everything else was so much more big picture.
Yeah.
So it would
He
be cool if we
says-
got more of DJ and everything else.
He's at the very end. He says, "They blow you up today. You can blow them up tomorrow. It's just business."
Okay.
And then Finn says, "You're wrong," and he goes, "Maybe."
Okay.
That's it. So just that,
Right.
maybe I am wrong, but at least I get to take advantage of the
At least
situation
I
now.
got paid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
It'd be cool to have
but-
more with him as a character
Yeah,
and not just feel like convenience.
I kind of liked his character. You said you didn't.
I
like
liked
him.
his character. I did not like the convenience of his character.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
could
I
see
understand
that.
how there very well may have been a lot of stuff they had to cut with that character because of everything else was so big picture and important.
Yeah.
It just everything with him felt very convenient that it was happening the way it happened. It's like, oh, we need that guy, but oh, we have this guy. Oh, we're in a ship. Oh, we're on the thing. Oh, you turned us over.
Yeah.
The end. Like it was just like all very like snap. Everything happened and DJ's gone.
Yeah.
And I like the character, but I wanted more of him as a character and not as a device. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. He was a good. If Poe is supposed to be a replacement for Han, he's a really shitty replacement. And DJ felt more like a Han kind of character.
Like old Han.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I would love more of him as the character and not as the plot device that he needed to be.
Right.
Which would be cool. I mean, even
There was a lot of that kind of stuff in this movie, though. Things that were plot
there's just
devices.
so much that had to happen. I feel
That's what
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like there's so many things that are plot devices that could be expounded on,
right,
that are just could be cool things just by themselves.
right.
Like DJ, like the maneuver, Holdo's maneuver,
Mhm.
was kind of a plot device, but that was kind of cool. The
Right,
base on Crate was convenient, or seemed convenient,
right.
but like I kind of want to know the history there. Like how did that end up there?
Yeah, there's
And-
been some about the Crate base in the Star Wars comic, with Luke and Leia going to Crate and then
Oh,
like
okay.
starting to set up the base
I
type
haven't
of
read
thing.
that.
Because it used to be a mining facility that they like were transforming into a base.
They reinforced it.
Right.
Yeah.
So they got into it a little bit in the Star Wars comics,
Okay.
but I don't follow those that well. But I've read a few things on that, like them going and visiting Crate and just like, oh, here's the history, here's how we
Right.
found it, and here's how we started setting it up. But like after that, other than like
Hmm.
starting to renovate it type of thing, there wasn't much more.
Right. I like the idea that they're. I mean, I like the idea that they're putting stuff into the book that didn't necessarily make it into the movie or couldn't be.
Didn't need to be in the movie, right? I mean, that's
I
how I,
would-
see
I
it.
would've really liked to see
I would have
Han's-
loved Han's funeral.
Yeah. Out of the three things that we mentioned,
Right.
that's the one thing that I would have really wanted.
Yes,
At least
but
a
for
short
the
thing.
for the point of the film, Han's funeral would not have served the point of the film.
No, if you watch the film now and then try to think of a place where that would have gone,
No, yeah.
it doesn't really fit.
It
I
would
agree
either
with
start it
that.
off slow or break up the action.
Yeah, I
And
agree with that. But
but I'm glad we're getting the things that shouldn't have been in the film, but we wanted to have. Which it sounds like is kind of the same thing for them, the people writing the book, and with Ryan, like
yeah,
this could not fit into the movie, but I wanted it to happen. So we're gonna, because of the way a book is paced, compared to a film, we can
Sure,
fit it in
right.
here and tell that story.
Yeah, I'm glad that kind of stuff is ending up here because especially with things like Han's funeral, I want to know more
Right.
about that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some more detail around
And I think that's
stuff like Snoke too.
that's such a weird thing to think about with, because usually you take a book and you turn it into a movie
Yeah.
and you tell a different story with the movie than you had in the book, or change things in the movie that you had in the book. But it's the opposite way of that ever having been a thing, where they made a movie and now they're writing the book and adding more to it.
The movie is the canon, the established canon,
Right.
and the book is expanding on that,
Right.
which is yeah.
Yeah. It's not the extended edition of Lord of the Rings where there's extra bits that, were in the book that they finally got to put back in the film.
Yeah.
We're taking the film and putting extra bits back in that we
Right.
couldn't put into the movie.
Like think about
Which
any
I
of
think
the-
is brilliant.
it's interesting at least. I don't know. If
Well,
it's brilliant.
one from a
brilliant from a marketing perspective.
Who buys the novelization of Star Wars films?
Yeah, super diehard fans do.
Yes. So you have probably a very small market that usually buys the novelization.
Yeah.
Or people that just collect the books. So I've personally, I'll go online and read what the extra bits were from The Force Awakens. Like there was some extra internal dialogue from Kylo,
Mhm.
talking about Rey and things like that. And I went online and read about that because someone wrote an article of here's all the things that were different.
Right.
I didn't have a need to buy the novelization. Now I want the novelization, which I've never wanted for any film ever, to have to own the novelization. From a marketing standpoint, that's brilliant. Everybody's got to buy the novelization now because it's got new stuff.
Yeah.
So of course people are probably going to shit on it because of that. We're like, oh, they're just adding more stuff to buy Mickey Mouse, and be all angry about everything. But I think and yes, obviously Disney knows definitely what the hell they're doing with that.
Yeah.
But from Ryan talking about it and Jason Fry talking about it, it is something that they wanted to happen, not
Right.
just to grab money. And from a tourist,
Well, let's put it this way: Disney is going to grab money with this. They were already planning on doing
they
that.
will grab any money they want with whatever they do.
Right.
I mean,
but Ryan, like you're saying, Ryan and Jason,
yeah,
Ryan and
Fry.
Jason took that opportunity to say, okay, well, if we have to do this, let's make this make sense.
I don't know if they had to though.
They had to write the novelization.
Well, the novelization.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I thought you were talking about they had to make an extended version.
No, they had to write the novelization. So
Right.
let's do it in a way that makes sense and actually adds
We can
to
tell more of the story
this
than we were
story.
able to.
Yeah, Ryan's little bit
Yeah.
story baby.
So from a fan perspective, I think that's awesome. I
Yeah.
think that's really cool to get something that expanded on the film when usually you get here's a novelization that's basically just the script rewritten into a book
Yeah.
format.
I mean,
And
think
then we'll
about
write some other books about other cool things that surrounded that story
Yeah.
instead of adding them in and filling out the story from the novelization.
think about like
standpoint.
any of the like Harry Potter books or even Lord of the Rings. Like the movies are musings on the book.
right.
Like the book is the story, and then the
Yes.
movie kind of, well, let's imagine what it was like during that, and it's
Right.
totally backwards now.
yeah, and
like-
that's really cool.
Yeah,
Mar-
it's
and-
interesting.
And again, you can shit on it because of the cash grab, if you want to call it that, or whatever. But I think that Lucasfilm and Disney have been killing it with the Star Wars books.
Yeah,
I
agree
think
with
all
that.
of the decisions they have made for the novels and the books have been really, really good.
And I think they've been solid enough that I want to see some of this stuff in the movies,
Right.
in a way. You know?
Yeah, like okay, we're getting a Han Solo movie. Great. That Phasma book could have been a movie.
Yeah, it would have been a
Obviously, it's just one-off character that we've had so far that
It would
we
have
don't
been-
need a movie about Phasma. But that book and the stuff that happened in that book was so visual and
Yeah,
so
It was very well written,
and
very
so
good.
I don't know. There's so much depth to it and so much cinematic
Yeah,
aspect to it with the giant fights in the cities and the desert
Uh-huh.
and those beetles and everything that could be a movie
The
that
stuff
I
with
would
the First
I would
Order.
love to see.
I would love to see that. It would be weird for me for that to be in the whole like Star Wars movie release cycle that we kind of go
Right.
through now, where it's like it's hyped forever and
Yeah.
with little trailers teased and like all that. That would be a little weird. I would like
Right,
it to
yeah.
be a movie that just drops.
Just a thing that happens.
Like a
just like a mini series. I mean, even
Yeah, even that would be really nice.
I would take like a cartoon
No.
Oh, no?
No. No, that's too far. No, I would take like a Netflix miniseries or something like that.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool. Wouldn't it?
Phasma, like
Something that
if they're
just
doing if they're doing miniseries for all these Marvel characters that no one needs to care about.
no
if
one
we can
needs
have
to
if
care
we can
about
have
or
an Iron-
does care
if we
about.
can have an Iron Fist miniseries that
That's true.
that sucks. We can have a Phasma miniseries that is amazing.
Yes, that's true. Something that just drops
Put that budget into something
and
someone cares about.
can be judged for what it is immediately and not super hype train and all
Right.
that junk.
Right.
Yeah, that would
because
be-
it was already a book too, so we don't need this whole hype train for it because we know exactly what has happened. Too, which
to
is
what?
weird.
We know exactly what
Are we ever gonna? That is a weird thought. Are we ever going to get that where there are movies for Star Wars about Star Wars things that have already come out?
What are you talking about? That's what all these spin-off movies
Well, no,
are.
so like Harry Potter, you get the books, then you get a movie. Star Wars, you get the movies, and then the books are usually totally
Oh, I
separate
see
about
what you
other
mean.
things.
Yeah.
Or books from the of the movie. Are we ever going to have Star Wars content that comes out as a book and then is remade into a thing, so we know what we're getting going into it?
If
Because
it's
we
specifically-
don't get that.
If
with
it's
Star Wars.
specifically book to movie, I don't know. Maybe when they run out of ideas.
I mean, it's like
eventually.
Marvel. You've got the comics, so you have a general idea of the characters and the stories that are coming out for the most part. At
Yeah.
least when they started. Now they've gone all over the place with them. But Star Wars is not that way. You have the things that build on the other things.
Yeah.
There's never putting out a thing based off of a thing that's already existed.
I think if they ever run out of ideas, which was probably going to happen at some point, maybe. But I mean, that's kind of what the spin-off movies are. We
Right,
have the
I guess.
established canon, and we have these movies that kind
I
of
was just
build off
thinking,
that.
talking about if Phasma was a thing, that's never going to happen because Phasma novel came out
Yeah.
and it exists now. So they're not going to make a new thing retelling that in another format.
But when you say miniseries, like that just makes so much sense. Wouldn't that be?
It would be awesome.
It
Yeah,
would
it'd
be
fantastic.
incredible. Especially to have Gwendolyn
What's
play
Gwendolyn doing
Phasma?
after this last season of Game of Thrones? Get on it.
It would be incredible.
Right. Put her on another show that people.
To have
probably
Aftermath
love.
be a series, adapted into a series, would be incredible.
Aftermath was great, and I could see Aftermath being like Clone Wars or Rebels type animation. I could see that being something like that.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
Um,
I'm trying to think of some other books.
for
that
some
would-
reason, lately, I've really been wanting a Star Wars show like the original Clone Wars cartoon, like in that Samurai Jack style art.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, I've really been wanting something like that again for
Gendy
Star Wars.
Tartakovsky kind of
Yeah,
really strong.
yeah, just like that almost anime
Yeah.
cartoon. Yeah, for
That'd
some
be-
reason,
that'd
I've
be
really
cool.
been wanting that again, which we're probably not going to get a Star Wars anime again, not after the Clone Wars. But for some reason, I've really been wanting that. Off topic, but yeah,
I don't want more Rebels kind of stuff. I'm so
that
tired
animation
of
style.
it. Clone Wars was good. It peaked at Clone Wars.
Are you talking about the animation style, or
Well, there's a whole
you're just tired
like,
of that of the
there's
storytelling?
a whole like, for kids serialized thing
Oh.
that goes along with that animation style, or at least it has so far.
The Clone Wars wasn't that way though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It peaked at
right.
Clone Wars. Clone Wars was good. It never got any better than that. And Rebels is just kicking a dead horse. Just it has been this whole
But
time.
you also have to compare the channels they were on, the studios they were involved with. So
That's what I mean. I want something.
Disney XD is not going to be Cartoon Network.
I guess I'm just so tired of that stuff. Being the
Kid shit.
being the only I have to deal with that enough day after day. I'm done with it. If they're gonna do another TV show, please make it something that has more substance than
and that sucks because
Then that's kid
we almost
crap.
got that
yeah, no,
that
the
Seth
Underworld
Green
show. Oh
uh,
no, the comedy show.
the Seth Green comedy show that was gonna be
Yeah,
like
that would've
like
been
the
stupid,
Falcon
though.
crew and them just dicking around.
The
type of
Falcon
thing.
crew.
It was like Han and Chewbacca and R2 and stuff.
Oh, no, I don't want that.
Um,
No, I'm talking real stuff.
well, I'm talking about but that was a different format. At
Give
least
me that real shit.
That was like a different format. That was going to be an adult humor, computer animated show.
I don't want a real Star Wars robot chicken. we already have
That's probably why it didn't happen. But I'm saying at least they were trying to do something different, and then it got bought out, and they scrapped it, right?
Yeah. We were gonna get the Star Wars Underworld show though,
Right.
too, or was that gonna be the game? Weren't we gonna have a
There
show?
was Star Wars.
There was gonna be a live action.
1313.
George Lucas was working on a live action Star Wars show
For a
right?
long time. There was scripts and stuff written. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been talked about before. How
Right.
Disney has all of that information and
Right.
the scripts and stuff.
We were gonna get that. I mean, I'm
And-
glad George
and we've
Lucas
talked
doesn't have that anymore, but
Right. And we've talked about it before. Disney's coming out with their own streaming platform, and what would be the strongest thing to start a live action streaming show on your platform?
right.
with
And
would
we've
be a
talked
Star
about
Wars show.
we don't think. I forget where we ended up. I still don't think there's gonna be like an adult type Netflix show on that platform, but we've already talked
But if
about
Disney's
all
doing it with Marvel, and Marvel comes from comics, which is for children,
that. We've already talked about this.
I know.
We've already
I just-
argued this, and our points haven't
they
changed.
can do it. They can do it.
Go back and listen to that episode. I forget what number it was. Go figure it out. Listen to all our
I just want to
episodes.
say, why would you think that Disney wouldn't do it for Star Wars, but they'll do it for Marvel?
Because it's different. It's a different platform. The platform is branded differently. They're doing it on Netflix, which the kind of shows
Oh,
that
you're
are
saying
there
with their Disney platform, they're
because
not
it's a
going to.
Disney branded platform. They're not going to do that. That's my
I don't-
argument.
I don't agree. They're going to have to continue.
I'm guessing.
They're
Obviously,
going to have to continue the Marvel type shows, and they've already got. I mean,
I don't know. Will they? Are they going to
well,
keep Netflix?
they have to finish them out with Netflix because of the contract. Because they've already got multiple seasons of some of those
See, I don't
shows still
know.
coming out.
I don't know. Tell us what you think. Tweet at us.
So we have the
and-
Disney Channel, we have Disney Junior, we have Disney XD. Are we gonna have like Disney Adult? That's not right. Disney A plus.
I want people to send us tweets with what they think about this because I think I'm right.
That Disney's not going to have.
That
It's just
Disney's
all
not gonna
going
ha-
to be High School Musical and
Yes.
Phineas and Ferb.
Yep.
That's it.
All that
Like, they
stupid
can't- they
kid shit
can't-
that I can't get rid of.
They can't make They can't make an adult television show because
On
it's
their
not,
own-
because they don't have Netflix anymore.
On their own branded platform.
I
Do you
think they
really
have-
think that's going to happen?
if they want that to take off, they will have to diversify into. I can't say adult content because adult content is not the right word. Into mature content.
See, that's not even.
That sounds like Lemon Party.
Oh no, Lemon Party.
I
Go
don't-
see.
Oh no. Cups. So they have to. If they want that platform to take off, it can't just be kid stuff. They would have to
Have Goatsy. I know. That's what I'm saying.
just straight up porn and hentai. That's.
There's tentacles everywhere. Anyway, we should stop talking. Go back and listen. I really want to know what people think. If you.
It's hard to imagine because it hasn't happened. I think that's the problem.
Okay, yeah, I'm just making guesses. Obviously, we're just making guesses about this
We
stuff.
know.
But I think I'm right about my guess.
And I disagree.
All right, we need to talk about this
Fine.
park stuff before we get out of here.
Damned park.
This
so,
park.
Galaxy's Edge, Batuu. Batuu.
Batuu.
You have to say it like that. You can't just say Batuu. You have to go Batuu.
Batuu.
You have to. It has to sound like someone spitting into a spittoon when you say Batuu.
Have you ever thought about how spittoon makes the sound that spittoon makes?
It's probably
The word?
why it was named that, right?
Spittoon.
It's just an onomatopoeia. Someone spit. They're like, "What's that thing called? I just spit into."
Spittoon.
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 So yes.
Anyway,
Batuu.
about Batuu.
So spittoon. Moving on. The park has been discussed about the resistance portions of it, and then like the
First Order.
cantina portions of it, and like the street market portions of it.
Yes.
And obviously, we know there's a First Order presence there.
Yes.
But currently, there's been more talk about that by one of the guys that, and I'm sorry, guy, that I cannot remember your name. He has a very prominent Disney behind the parks type blog.
One guy?
It's yes. Yes, it's a guy that does this.
How do you say yes?
The same person we talked about the other episode about finding out about the cantina and the live finding out about the permits, about getting live performances in a restaurant setting type of thing. The
It's
guy
been
who
that-
finds
I don't
out
know.
information about.
I don't know where you
Disney.
have your sources.
Fine. So
I don't care.
talking about this, there's on Batuu there is a first
Batuu.
order base there, which
Mhm.
which Michael you were talking about earlier today when we were talking about it. That is, I guess, supposedly that giant hangar.
Yeah,
that's
so
there.
remember Disney came out when they first not when they first announced the park, but in one of their posts later on, they were talking about one main attraction was going to be the Falcon, and you can get on the Falcon and fly.
Mhm.
And the other big thing was this giant hangar bay. And the
Right.
quote was something about it's on a scale that they've never done before.
Right.
It's like you're going to feel like you're in a giant hangar bay in a Star Destroyer.
Right.
So my guess was one, the walkers that we know that are being constructed are probably in this hangar bay.
Right.
That's what makes sense. And two, this other thing that you wanted to talk about.
Right. This guy said there's most likely there seems to be a full TIE fighter in there as well.
Yeah.
In that area.
Yep.
Full size TIE fighter. And then
Makes
I
sense.
guess some kind of like first order stage stunt show.
Think Young Frankenstein.
That should not happen.
Put it on the wheels.
But supposedly, kind of think along what the guy was saying was think along the lines of the Jedi Training Academy. If you've been to Hollywood Studios now, they have this Jedi Training Academy where they teach kids how to use a lightsaber, and then Darth Vader and stormtroopers come out and they have to fight Darth Vader by just like walking up to him, tapping his lightsaber once, and then walking away. It's this whole production for the kids to be a part of this Jedi training, and then Darth Vader shows up and they have to defend against him, type of thing.
Mhm.
So they're saying think about that, except for with more immersion, a bigger story, and a bigger space, which is interesting to think about. It's still assumed to be like a standing area type thing
Okay.
with a big space with a story and the First Order with, I guess, stunt stuff happening. So maybe there's maybe a fight breaks out between the First Order and the Resistance in the street.
Dressed up like $1 million trooper. Trying hard to look like Gary Cooper.
I wonder how many people have any idea what you're talking about.
Come, let's mix for Rockefeller.
So, and when I saw that, the reason I wanted to talk about it is I guess I kind of forgot about the First Order, like, actual presence on Batuu. Batuu.
Every time now.
I mean, I remember that, stormtroopers would probably be like patrolling the area, kind of like they do now at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
There's, these two stormtroopers that walk around and talk to people and say stuff. But I guess like there's actually going to be like a First Order presence with TIE fighters and obviously the walkers, and then like I guess a stunt show of some sort, like I said, like immersion. So I'm guessing like, and that's something they talked about
All I
back when
can
they
think
had
of is like
a
people.
stunt show.
You see a crowd of people, and you see just beyond the crowd, like troopers doing somersaults in the air and like
Is it-
flipping over sideways with their legs up the air.
It's like a circus show. There's like a stormtrooper
Yeah.
on ribbons, like unwinding down from the ceiling and doing like a weird, like a ribbon show,
That's all I can think of.
jumping on trampolines and flipping over each other. One in like a giant metal ring, swinging back and forth and spinning around.
You can't see what's happening beyond the crowd. You just see troopers flying over
It's
the
just
heads
a
of
circus
people.
show, but they're all in stormtrooper outfits.
Yeah, full,
Okay.
full storm.
It's lots of clanking and slapping of plastic.
That's all I can think of.
I would pay to see that. But if you think back to D23 when they first announced Batuu, that they talked about like street performances and just stuff happening while you were there.
Yeah.
Just like because the world is alive.
Yeah, not necessarily you being at a place to stand around and watch
like,
a show.
oh look, the band is setting up now. Let's all
Right.
gather around while this guy with a drum starts to play a song.
There's just stuff that happens around
Right.
you.
Like
Yeah.
just because the streets are alive
Right.
with the sound of music, with merchants and
hills are
well, sure, there's no hills in Florida. With the merchants and the resistance
the
and just
speed bumps are alive with the sound of music.
right. So there's just like this stuff happening. So
Uh-huh.
I thought that was really interesting where it was talking about the immersion of it and it being like a stunt show where just like obviously And I hate to think about it this way too, but obviously they're going to have to rope off the area because it's Disney. There's going to be tape on the ground so you don't stand in the area where the pyrotechnics are. Somehow, unless there's some way to do that immersively without it, with it being not accessible by the public, but still being in the public.
Still seeming like you're part of it. Yeah.
Right. Like there's a tiny hedge. You can't pass the little hedge. They're all over there on that street doing it. I don't know. There's a median between you and the stormtrooper fight.
Sure.
But just like something like that where it's obviously you probably know what time the show is going to happen in your pamphlet that you got when you walked into the area. But just like it just being a thing that just breaks out in this area of the park where there's just this immersiveness to it where like, oh, suddenly there's a stormtrooper fight with the resistance for whatever reason. Yeah. Maybe they don't even announce it. There's just suddenly you hear blaster fire and there's a show going on.
I just imagine them coming out from behind a bush. Up, 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 up.
Like high step, like jogging.
Up, 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 up. And then they just start doing everything all at once. All the different moves and like the stormtroopers.
You're still thinking about a stunt show, but it being a circus for some reason.
One stormtrooper gets on one knee and holds his hand, and the other stormtrooper, steps up and they flip each other.
They come out. There's a stormtrooper on a unicycle with like a pyramid of stormtroopers above him that he's holding on to. And they tumble off of him with a clatter of their plastic armor.
It's like a bunch of Russian acrobatics.
For some reason, it's just a Russian circus with stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers, yeah. Oh.
Well, you killed it, Michael.
The music started playing. We'll edit that out later.
You won't get that version. So
yeah, pay $1 a month to see what just happened.
Right. Yeah, so Russian circus with stormtroopers. I would also pay to see that.
That keeps going through my mind every time I think about a stunt show. Anyway,
it's burned into my brain now too. No, but I'm excited about that. Again, they keep mentioning the immersion to it. And I just like that something breaking out and just happening in that area with the First Order troopers and things, which I don't know. I just found it very interesting being reminded that they actually have a base there and there's like a whole thing and there's going to be something involved with them at the park. So as a performance of some sort, which is cool.
So when they say this is going to be in the hangar bay of a Star Destroyer, and they specifically mentioned a Star Destroyer, is this going to be like, is there going to be a model of a Star Destroyer somewhere that you can walk into? Or like
obviously not an actual. I mean, that's
or like the superstructure of a Star Destroyer somehow. Like how are you going to get into a hangar bay of a Star Destroyer at some point? Let's say the walkers and the TIE fighter and the stunt show and everything are not in this. I don't think
you personally can just walk the hangar.
You don't think it's like an open area?
If it has to be for a Star Destroyer,
you think it'll be
obviously
somewhere else?
They cannot fit the size of a 1/1 scale Star Destroyer in the park because that's too big.
I guess.
So there's going to be the trick of Disney magic to make it look like there's a Star Destroyer in the hangar.
So it'll be like there's
just a
like
wall
that
with
shitty tiny castle in the new Magic Kingdom, where it's just kind of off. Oh look. There's a real Star Destroyer over there.
Right. It's just really far away.
It's like a foot long.
It's just an actual like Revel model flying by on a wire.
On a stick. On a popsicle stick. Yeah. On one of those like squeaky, like, clotheslines.
Yep. Oh. I don't know why everything at that Batuu has turned into this weird Russian circus with shitty theatricals.
I guess because we don't think this is actually going to happen. The way they say it's going to happen. I don't know.
Right. All the things they are saying sound super cool, but then you remember that it's Disney and there are tourists.
And there's going to be tourists, exactly.
And they have to plan for shows and mark off the lines for where you can stand during the parade, like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And
you got your Disney and my Star Wars.
As I think about that, I'm interested in how immersive they can make it while also doing that, and if they figure out a way to immerse it in a way to keep you separated from it while still feeling a part of it,
while still having to think about safety and directing crowds and all of that stupid crap.
Which would be really
Yeah.
cool if they sorted that out without having, cast members with their crappy white and, blue and yellow outfits on marking tape on the ground because the show's about to start.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool to see how they would sort that out from just a
Right.
logistics perspective. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And
Right.
speaking of when that happens, apparently it's opening next year with Disneyland first. Meh.
Yep.
It's not for us.
Disneyland earlier in the year
Yep.
is what they've said so far, and then the studios here in Florida later in the year.
Well, and I guess that makes sense why because we talked about this, I think, last episode, that
That Disneyland was ahead of schedule.
Disneyland is ahead of schedule.
Right.
Which, if the schedule is this, then obviously that makes sense why that one is ahead of where the one in Florida is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know about the staggered open dates
that
like
is
that.
is
before
very
now.
strange, and that makes me sad because we're obviously in Orlando area to go to that.
Which means we're gonna have to wait probably until
But that also might mean that they will work out any kinks
late summer.
before Orlando opens. They'll see the issues they have on opening
maybe.
in Disneyland, and then
Maybe.
know what they're doing here. Could be.
Maybe. I mean this probably means we're gonna have to wait until probably late summer, fall.
As soon as it is as hot as possible in Florida, it will open. When it's 105 degrees outside, Batuu will open.
Yep.
And then we'll all go there and die.
Mm-hmm.
Batuu. Yep.
All right.
So prepare yourself for a year and a half from now when that happens.
That means it'll
That's soon. That's
it'll
not
be
that
getting
far.
ready to open up when 9 is getting ready to release.
Right, yeah.
It's the same year
That'd be really cool.
in December.
All right, well,
That's enough of
I'm
this.
Star Wars'd out. That's not possible.
That's enough of us for one
It's always enough of us.
one show.
But if you cannot get enough of us, see a doctor, and also go to Twitter at hokey_religion.
Where we have not tweeted in kind of a long time.
Yeah,
You've been tweeting a little bit.
I was on a business trip and
Yep.
had no time for that.
And I forgot
Michael
we had
does
a
not
Twitter
care.
account.
Michael does not care in the
I do
slightest.
care, but I care in spurts. It's not.
Well,
I should see a doctor about that.
about your spurts. Your wife really is concerned with your care and the spurts that happen
My spurts.
alongside it. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, hokey_religion on Twitter. You can also email us at asklobot@hokeyreligion.com. So if you just want to, tell us nice stories.
We haven't gotten
do that.
any questions on Twitter or Ask
if
Lobot in a while.
there's something we have not talked about,
I mean, think about all the stuff in the new movie.
if there's something we have not complained about,
Yeah.
if there's something we have not talked about that you wonder what we think about it, or if
Or
there's
even
something
just
we have said that
what
we
about
didn't
it in general?
yeah, if there's something we have said that you want an explanation as to why we feel a certain way about something.
Mhm.
But I feel we're opinionated enough that we probably explain
We'll
why
get to it
at the same time.
eventually.
Yeah. If there's anything you want out of us, just shoot us an email at asklobot, ASKLOBOT @hokeyreligion.com. And of course, like I said before, you can tweet us any questions, comments. If you think that Disney can make a adult show on their streaming platform, or if you think Phasma should be a show. I don't know. What else did we say this episode? We said a lot of stuff this episode.
I forget as soon as we say it.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yes, you can also, if you ever want to see how stupid we look while making the show and see when mistakes happen, you can go to patreon.com/hokyreligion. And for as little as $1 a month, you get access to the recordings, the live stream recordings of our episodes where we look like a bunch of fools.
For as
Instead of
little
just
as
sounding like
$1 a month, you can get access to all of this.
For $2.50 a month, you will get a sticker
Mailed to you.
mailed to you.
You don't have to pick it up. That's the key component in this.
Nope.
That's what makes it worth it.
Yes, you can.
You
get
receive it at your house,
Yep. Through
your
the
place
postal service.
of living. The
Michael will
future.
hand deliver it and kiss you on the mouth.
Oh,
That's the Hokey
oh,
religion.
no.
That's the Hokey religion promise.
Oh no!
For $2.50, Michael will travel to wherever you are and kiss you on the
For
mouth.
$2.50.
And when he's done kissing you, somehow the sticker will be in your mouth. but you'll have a sticker.
You'll
and a kiss
find
from
out.
Michael. And there's other things, other tiers on there for other access. And
You're right. There's a lot of
things.
tiers on there.
Yep.
A lot of tiers.
Hard tiers that you not patronizing us enough.
Patronize me.
Yep. All right. That's all of our
Yeah.
things.
Yep. All right.
Find us wherever noises are made. Leave a review on wherever reviews are possible. Telephone polls.
Yelp.
Yelp. We should definitely add ourselves to Yelp.
The yellow pages.
The Yellow Pages and mostly iTunes. Leave us stars and reviews and say things about us because it helps other people to find the show. And if you don't like telling people directly about the show because you're embarrassed, leave a review. It'll help others find us. And that's all I've got, Michael.
That's
Anything?
me. And you.
Anything from
And
you?
both of us.
All of
and
us.
this has been Hokey Religion.
This is Tyler.
This
That's-
is me. I already said this part.
Bye.
Hokey religion is an ancient weapon. Hokey religion is an ancient weapon, so no magic for a good blast here at your side.
Batuu.
And on a little Nokia or whatever. I had
Right.
that.
It's just gonna be like that's all you hear when your phone rings every time. It's just this blown out mess of a guy eating a can.